flipper bought this house, fixed it up, and then sold it. If you over renovate on a fix and flip, you'll spend too much and you'll lose money on the deal. And if you under renovate, the house won't sell for as much and you'll leave money on the table. The true genius with fix and flip is knowing exactly what to fix up. So on today's video, I'm gonna break it down for you and I'm gonna show you how to decide what repairs to make on a fix and flip coming up. Hi, it's Jerry Norton, the nation's leading expert on flipping houses. And if you're new and you want to make more money in less time flipping houses so you can live your dream life, subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon to get notified when new videos are released. When it comes to fixing and flipping houses, there are two extremes. There's what I call lipstick on a pig. Now this is when the flipper barely does anything to the property and maybe at most does carpet and paint and then tries to quickly flip it for a profit. And this is very common for wholesalers who start to get into fix and flip because they're used to turning deals faster and they don't like to do extensive rehabs. And the other end of the spectrum is to completely renovate the entire house and replace everything so it's like a new house. Now this is a common misconception for many would-be fix and flippers who, thanks to the TV shows, think you have to be Joanna Gaines and come up with a spectacular design and it's just gonna blow away the market because it's such a cool house. So what is it, lipstick on a pig or Joanna Gaines? What is the better strategy when fixing and flipping houses? The answer is, it depends. Remember, never lose sight of why we fix and flip houses. The goal is to make the biggest return on investment by making improvements and increasing the value of the home. Let me say that again because this is so important. I want this to really sink in. The goal with fix and flip is to make the biggest return on investment by making improvements and increasing the value of the home. Let's break that down further. Return on investment, or ROI, means if I spend X fixing up the home and reselling it, I'll make a X profit. But ROI isn't just monetary. Time, energy, and effort are also factors when considering ROI. For example, what's better? Spending $15,000 doing carpet and paint that takes 2 weeks and earns a $20,000 profit, or spending $40,000 doing an extensive rehab that takes 60 days and earns a $30,000 profit on the flip? Which would you choose? $20,000 profit for 2 weeks of work or a $30,000 profit with 2 months of work? I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment and let me know. The question you need to ask yourself is another $10,000 worth all of the additional time, energy, and effort to do the more extensive renovation? Only you can decide that. What if doing the extensive rehab yielded a $50,000 profit? Now you're making an extra $30,000 for the additional time, energy, and effort. Now is it worth it? Now I just used hypothetical numbers to illustrate a point. In the real world, the actual ROI for the various levels of rehab is driven by the market. In other words, the buyers in each and every market determine what they are willing to pay at the different levels of a rehab. Generally speaking, the less you spend on improvements, the less it will sell for on the flip, and the more you spend on improvements, the more it will sell for. But it really comes down to how much you spend and where you spend it, meaning what things you fix up, and there is always the law of diminishing returns, which means at some point it doesn't matter how much you spend improving a house, the market isn't gonna pay any more for it. Here's the bottom line. The real genius when it comes to fix and flip is knowing exactly what the market wants and is willing to pay in relation to the ROI of money and time, energy, and effort. So how do you do it? How do you learn what the market will bear and what the right level of rehab is required to maximize return on investment? Let me share with you 4 rules to follow as well as give you a real world example. The first rule when it comes to deciding what level of rehab gives you the biggest return on investment is that it's market specific. In other words, every market is different. In some markets, lipstick on a pig is the best strategy, and in other markets, buyers demand a fully renovated home. Don't ever assume because one level of rehab works in one market that it also works in another market. It's for that reason that I cringe when I see experts giving people advice based on what's working for them in their market. The second rule is that it's always changing. Just because that's what worked yesterday doesn't mean that it will work tomorrow. Buyers' wants and needs are constantly changing and evolving, which leads to rule number 3. And rule number 3 is make rehabbing houses a science, not an art. It's all about the data, and the data is sold comps. What are buyers paying for renovated homes in the past 30, 60, 90 days in your market? Rule number 4 is not to be a trendsetter, but rather a copycat. You don't need to come up with the fresh new ideas and the coolest design that everybody's gonna love. No, don't be Joanna Gaines, copy Joanna Gaines. I do this on my multi-million-dollar new construction projects. I look at what other successful builders did and then I copy them. Find out what has recently worked and do that. and this works at all price points. When looking at sold comps in your neighborhood, look for renovated homes that are vacant. These are flippers. Go through the pictures and look at what they fixed up, as well as colors and designs. Look for trends. This is how you'll learn what the market is willing to pay. Now let me get out the computer here and quickly show you an example. Okay, so a few days ago I released a video showing how I find a cash buyer for a deal, and I was comping this property, and I want to use this as an example because it's a great example here. But here in my market here, I had a deal right here on this street here, and I was looking at the sold homes, and a few blocks away was this home right here. So let me pull this property up here and just show this to you. And this was a comp that sold for really well. It was one of the highest selling homes in that area. And so what I want to do is I want to just quickly go through this and look at this with you. So right away you can see here that this home is renovated. How do I know it's renovated? Everything's updated and it's vacant, right? That means a flipper bought this house, fixed it up, and then sold it. So you can see here they did wood floors, all new kitchen. And one thing I want to point out here is look at this. Now this is an older home, and see this right here? They opened up between these two rooms here, put a header in to make this a great big open floor plan. Now that's very popular. People like an open floor plan. So this flipper actually spent the money, put in this big header right here, opened up these two rooms, and made that all bigger. You can see his kitchen right here. He's got granite. He included appliances, did a backsplash. Looks like all new trim around the windows. Looks like new windows. Obviously paint, obviously new wood floors. New deck out there. You can see that deck. So this here is a full-blown rehab. Carpet in the bedrooms, that's important to kind of note because there's wood floors down below. This isn't overly expensive. I mean, this is a vanity you can get at Home Depot. But carpet in the bedrooms, new ceiling fans, so all new fixtures, new doors, see the doors, new base trim, new outlets. This is all stuff you can kind of pick up. Obviously new bathroom. And then this is the basement, so they finished the basement. Now that's a really important thing to know. It's a big deal to know because are they finishing basements in that market? Well, this flipper did. So this is the rehab on this house. You can see here, this looks like a new deck or maybe new boarding, probably a new roof. And so this would be a full-blown extensive rehab on this property. Now I'm showing that as an example because this is how you learn what the market is doing. Now, there's a few more that are like this as well. Other flips that let me know what flippers are doing in that market. Now, let's say I looked at a flip and it was, half the renovation is this house, then that would tell me, okay, there's a different level of rehab that the market here is willing to pay or is expecting or not expecting, and that's the data that I'm talking about as an example. Hey, listen, fix and flip is a business that should provide you a six-figure income, and even a high six-figure income, and even a seven-figure income. That is, if you learn how to do it right, and I can help you get there. I've personally helped my clients flip over $100 million in real estate, so if you'd like to learn how I can help you build a successful business flipping houses, then click the link in the description and apply. There may or may not be an opening, but fill out the application and my team will contact you and see if it's a good fit and if there's a spot open. And if you learned something on today's video, show some love, hit that like button and leave a comment. Let me know your biggest takeaway from this video, and if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm dedicated to helping you make more money in less time flipping houses so you can live your dream life. And while we're on the topic of fix and flip, check out this video right here where I share 2 recent deals where I made 6 figures per deal. Now you'll see what I did on those properties that netted me such big profits, so watch that video now. And remember, it's not about the money, it's about having the time and freedom to have, be, do, and give everything that matters in life. That's what it's all about. I'll see you on the next video.